He said that in the church?
He said it.
Oh, did they talk? Whoa!
You ain't been to black church in a while, have you?
Yeah, but they don't normally share secrets like that.
You know what? For the first time ever, I'm gonna tell the story. I've never told the story before.
Look again.
I'm gonna tell the story for the first time in my life. She's the mother, I'm the child. He says, yeah, but you call yourself a Christian.
Kirk Franklin is a famous gospel singer and songwriter. Recently, he spoke out about some troubling rumors that have followed him for a long time. These rumors are about his personal life and relationships. Many fans have been curious about what he would say.
It really wasn't until my first year of marriage, I was 26 years old, when I sat down with my wife and told her, I said, hey, you're my best friend, and I want to talk to you about something.
Why did it take him so long to confirm the truth? What does he want people to know? In this video, we will explore Kirk Franklin's story, the rumors, and the reasons behind his long silence. What does this mean for his fans and his music? Let's find out together.
I don't know if you're aware of this recent situation of me finding the same thing about my father this year.
I was gonna go there.
I hadn't talked to my mother in over 23 years.
Recently, he opened up about his early life, and his story is quite emotional. Many people were surprised to hear what he went through as a child, which adds a deeper meaning to his music. Kirk Franklin's life has had many challenges. He was born on January 26, 1970, in Fort Worth, Texas. From the start, life was tough for him. Kirk was born to young parents who were not ready to take care of a child. Because of this, Kirk did not know who his father was, and his mother, unfortunately, abandoned him.
She grabbed his hand and said, come on, baby, let's go. And she walked out of the house on her two kids, and she stood by the side of this NIGGA.
This was a heartbreaking moment in his life. After his birth, she left him at a church in Fort Worth, and that must have felt really sad for a newborn.
Shook my world. It has shaken my world. Even now, I'm still shooketh. I'm still in the middle of.
However, a twist of fate changed everything. Kirk's aunt, Gertrude Franklin, who was in her 60s, stepped in to help. She was a kind and religious woman. Gertrude took Kirk in as her own son and adopted him. This was the first bright spot in Kirk's tough childhood. She gave him the love and support he desperately needed. This is how Kirk Smith became the Kirk Franklin we know today. But life with Gertrude was not without its struggles. They faced many financial problems. Kirk often felt sad and moody at home, with only his aunt for company. He described himself as a wild child when he was around other kids, just wanting to enjoy his childhood. Despite the sadness, there were also good moments. Gertrude saw Kirk's special talent for music early on. She decided to invest in his future by signing him up for piano classes when he was just 4 years old. This was not easy for her. She had to collect aluminum cans to make enough money for his lessons. But her belief in Kirk's talent helped him shine.
And that's how I started to go to church with her, because it was just really her and I, and she would recycle old newspapers and beer cans to pay for my piano lessons.
No, my God.
Yeah.
As Kirk began to learn piano, he amazed everyone with his skills. His aunt supported him all the way and encouraged him to use his talent in church. He started to blossom in the church choir, where he found his passion for music. By the time he was 11 years old, Kirk was already leading the adult choir at Matt Rose Baptist Church near Dallas. He was in charge of all the music for the church's choirs. Growing up, Kirk was a church boy. He loved music and found joy in singing at church. However, being a church kid did not mean he stayed out of trouble. Like many teenagers, Kirk faced temptations and difficulties. He lived in Fort Worth, Texas, where the streets could be rough. Unfortunately, he often found himself getting into trouble. He had a rebellious side that pulled him away from church. He made choices that were not good for him, which led to some serious problems. During this time when he wasn't at church, Kirk was getting into fights at school, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and spending time in pool halls. He even experimented with smoking marijuana and other risky behaviors. These choices were not helping him. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, tragedy struck. At just 15 years old, Kirk faced a heartbreaking loss. His close friend Eric Pounds was accidentally killed when a gun fell from a closet and went off. Eric was only 17. This shocking event left Kirk feeling deeply sad and alone. He turned to the Bible and music for comfort during this dark time, trying to heal from the pain. But unfortunately, more troubles were waiting for him. After this tragedy, Kirk enrolled at Oscar Dean White High School. However, things did not go smoothly for him there. He was expelled shortly before graduating, which was another big blow. He also lost his great-uncle around the same time. This series of losses was tough for a young man who was already struggling. The hardest hit came when Kirk lost his mother, Gertrude Franklin, when he was just 17.
33 years ago.
Okay.
So Gertrude died when I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah. I found Gertrude in her bed sleep. I found Gertrude. Well, the fireman found her in her bed at night sleep.
This was a turning point in his life. Suddenly, he was alone in the world, with no one to rely on. He had to find a way to take care of himself. To make ends meet, he took a job as a pianist for his music teacher, Jewel Kelly, in her choir, the Singing Chaparral. These were testing times for Kirk. It seemed like every time he started to recover, something else would happen. Just when he thought things couldn't get worse, he got surprising news. His girlfriend was pregnant. He was only 18, and he felt completely unprepared for this new responsibility.
I was very ashamed of myself for the lack of control.
At this point in his life, he faced many tough questions. Would he make the same mistakes his parents did? How would becoming a father change him? These questions were not easy, but they pushed him to think deeply about his life and choices. After a while, Kirk's girlfriend gave birth to their son, Carrion. For the first few years, she raised him on her own. It wasn't until 1996 that Kirk decided to take responsibility. He wanted to do things differently for Carrion than his own parents had done for him. Kirk didn't want his son to face the same struggles he had. He wanted Carrion to know his father and to have a better life. These events shook him, but also brought him closer to music and faith. In an interview, he shared how important music was to him during these hard times. He felt a strong connection to God and realized that he had made mistakes. However, he also learned that it was okay to forgive himself. Kirk's experience became a lesson for many. When we truly repent and turn to God, forgiveness is always possible. Even while he was stepping up as a father, Kirk's love for music was growing stronger. This passion for music became a guiding light for him and eventually led him to fame. But getting there wasn't easy. He didn't just jump into the spotlight. Instead, he started small.
Until my career took off. And then Deborah and Dwight, the man who I thought was my biological father, they started showing up at concerts. And that pissed me off.
Right.
It really angered me.
Let's take a closer look at how Kirk Franklin became a music star and changed the gospel scene. Kirk co-founded a musical group called the Humble Hearts. This group helped him get his foot in the door of the gospel music scene. They recorded one of Kirk's songs, which became successful and caught the attention of Milton Bigham, a legend in gospel music. Bigham was the music director of the Georgia Mass Choir and saw potential in Kirk. He invited him to lead the Fort Worth Mass Choir in Dallas to record a song called Every Day with Jesus. At just 20 years old, Kirk was hired to lead the choir during a gospel music workshop at a big event in 1990. This was a major step in his career. In 1991, the Dallas-Fort Worth Mass Choir released an album on Milton Bigham's Savoy Records. This album was called Look How Far We've Come and marked an important milestone for Kirk. In 1993, Kirk co-founded a group called The Family. This was not just any choir, it was made up of 17 friends from his neighborhood. They all shared a love for music and wanted to spread a positive message. Soon, they sent a demo tape to Vicky McLatale, a founder of a new gospel record label. She loved the tape and signed them right away. This was the start of something special. The Family's debut album came out in 1993, and it was a huge success. This album didn't just top the gospel charts, it also made its way onto the R&B charts. It sold over 1 million copies and became one of the best-selling gospel albums ever. This album was not just popular in churches, people of all backgrounds enjoyed it. One of the standout tracks from the album was Why We Sing. This song became a hit and broke records, reaching R&B radio stations that usually played different kinds of music.
No matter what I go through, you will reach.
Vicky Latayad explained how surprised they were by the song's success. They hoped that R&B stations would play it, but they never imagined it would become such a big hit. The message of Why We Sing connected deeply with listeners. It was different from typical R&B songs, which often focused on love and relationships. Instead, Kirk's music talked about spirituality and the need for a better life. Kirk Franklin knew that young people today were facing many struggles. He saw how some kids were lost and needed guidance. In his music, he aimed to bring hope and encouragement to his generation. His hard work paid off when Why We Sing won the Gospel Song of the Year award in 1993. But that was just the beginning for Kirk Franklin. He continued to achieve great things in his career.
It really wasn't until my first year of marriage, I was 26 years old, when I sat down with my wife and told her, I said, hey, you're my best friend, and I want to talk to you about something.
But even with all his success, Kirk's personal life has not always been easy. He has faced many challenges that have tested his strength and faith. One of the most difficult struggles Kirk faced was his battle with pornography addiction. He opened up about this in his autobiography, Church Boy. Kirk's honesty about his addiction shocked many, but it also inspired others who were dealing with similar problems. He showed that even someone as successful as him can face tough issues. This struggle affected his marriage and his faith, but he never shied away from discussing it. Instead, he faced it head-on, which became a big part of his story.
He said, it started when I was young, and it has carried over into my adulthood. I thought that marriage was going to fix it, but it hasn't. And he said, I am addicted to pornography.
Kirk Franklin married Tammy Collins in 1996. They were old friends who became lovers. When they got married, Kirk already had a son named Carrion from a previous relationship. Tammy brought her 7-year-old daughter into the marriage as well. After their wedding, they welcomed more children into their family. Together, Kirk and Tammy have 3 kids, Kennedy, Keziah, and another son. Their family is big and full of love, but it hasn't always been easy. Kirk's first son, Carrion, is from his earlier relationship with Kimberly Williamson. Carrion has faced some challenges in his own life, but he shares a close bond with his dad.
Do you like men?
I don't give a f. Call me bi. Okay, I'm bisexual. Call me that.
Then there's Carrington, Tammy's daughter from her previous relationship. She added joy to the family, making it feel complete. In 1997, Kirk and Tammy welcomed their first child together, Kennedy. Today, Kennedy is a talented singer who often performs with her father. She has already made a name for herself in the music world, just like her dad. In 2000, Kirk and Tammy had another son, Keziah. He seems to follow in his father's footsteps and has a passion for music too. Kirk has shared that his marriage to Tammy has faced many tests, particularly due to his addiction. This issue affected their lives deeply, but they worked hard to overcome it. Kirk said that going to counseling together helped a lot. They leaned on their faith and trust in each other to get through the tough times. Another challenge for Kirk and Tammy was rumors about cheating. Despite these rumors, Kirk always insisted that he was faithful to his wife. He and Tammy have spoken openly about their journey through the hard times. They explain that having a strong commitment to each other and their faith helped them get through their challenges. Their story is a reminder that even in difficult moments, love and trust can help a couple grow stronger together. Through all the ups and downs, Tammy has been a huge support for Kirk. She stood by him as he faced his struggles and celebrated his successes. This support made a big difference in their marriage. Kirk often praises Tammy for being his rock and helping him stay focused on what matters most.
And it's been almost 30 years,
27
years.
Yes, y'all giving us 3 extra, but it's
but you're gonna make it to 30 and beyond.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Like many celebrities, he has faced his share of scandals and public scrutiny. One of the most talked about events happened in 2021, when Kirk got into a heated argument with his estranged son, Carrion. The argument, which included lots of swearing and bad language, was recorded and accidentally released to the public. This shocked many people, especially since Franklin is seen as a leader in the Christian community. Carrion also made things worse by accusing his father of being abusive, both physically and verbally, when he was a child. This added more pressure on Kirk Franklin, as many people were watching to see how he would respond. Instead of ignoring the situation, Franklin apologized and admitted that his relationship with his son had always been difficult. Thankfully, the two have since made peace and publicly reconciled, showing that even broken family relationships can be healed. This situation made people realize that managing personal issues under the public eye can be incredibly tough.
This is a beautiful thing. You are united with your father. It's beautiful.
I need for people to understand, I'm 53 years
Right.
old. I wasn't looking for a daddy.
Right.
He wasn't looking for a son.
Right.
But that wasn't the only emotional journey for Kirk Franklin. For most of his life, Kirk Franklin didn't know who his father was, and this created a huge emotional gap in his life. For years, he had unanswered questions about his true parentage. However, in the spring of 2023, a surprise discovery changed everything. At the time, Franklin was busy working on his 13th album when something unexpected happened. While working with a local singer named Nicole Halen, she mentioned a man from Kirk's hometown named Richard Herbert. This man claimed to have once been in a relationship with Paula White, who is Kirk's birth mother. The resemblance between Richard Herbert and Kirk Franklin was so strong that people encouraged Franklin to take a DNA test. It was an emotional moment for Kirk Franklin, filled with nervousness and excitement. When the results came back positive, confirming that Richard Herbert was his father, Kirk Franklin finally got the answers he had been searching for his whole life. The reunion between father and son was touching, and it quickly became a story that inspired fans around the world. Even though their relationship is still new, it has shown the power of love and connection, even when time and distance try to keep people apart. Also, Kirk faced many health problems that have been a constant struggle for him behind the scenes. Franklin always seems full of energy when he is on stage, but things are not as easy as they appear. Recently, he opened up about his ongoing health issues. He revealed that he has been dealing with chronic pain throughout his career. This constant pain is tough, especially because his job demands a lot physically. He must juggle his busy performance schedule while managing these health challenges, which can be very hard. One of the most significant health tests Kirk faced happened on November 1st, 1996. At that time, he was only 26 years old. During a concert, he fell off the stage while introducing another artist, Yolanda Adams. Sadly, he fell into the orchestra pit and landed on his head, which caused a severe injury. After the fall, Kirk was rushed to the hospital and he arrived there with a blood-soaked shirt. Doctors put him in intensive care. This was a very tough time for Kirk and his family. However, with the love and support of his wife, he began to heal. Fans from all over the world also showed their support by sending cards and well wishes, which really lifted his spirits. Despite the seriousness of his injury, Kirk was determined to recover quickly. He wanted to attend the Stella Awards, an important event in the gospel music world. Amazingly, just 1 month after his accident, he made a stunning appearance at the awards show. His presence at the Stella Awards was not just a surprise, it was a triumphant moment. Kirk won 5 awards that night, including the prestigious Artist of the Year award. When asked why he made the effort to attend, Kirk boldly said, "I wanted to make a fool out of the devil." He explained that he refused to let the accident take away his joy and faith. He proudly declared, "You're not going to try to take my life and think I'm not going to praise God. I'm a living testimony." This powerful statement resonated with many and showed just how strong his spirit is. Despite all the challenges with his health, Kirk Franklin has remained dedicated to his music. His passion and hard work have earned him a special place in the hearts of many fans. But Kirk does not just focus on his career, he also believes in giving back to the community. In 1997, he started the Kirk Franklin Foundation. This foundation aims to help young, less privileged people discover their musical talents. It offers musical education programs, workshops, and mentorship to guide the next generation of artists. Kirk wants to inspire others to carry the light and hope he believes in. In addition to his foundation, Kirk Franklin has supported other organizations like Feed the Children and Compassion. He understands the importance of spreading hope and positivity in the world, and he actively works to make a difference. His efforts remind us that no matter how tough life gets, it's essential to lift others up and share joy. Kirk Franklin's life is a mix of triumph and trials. He has shown us that even when things get tough, it is possible to overcome challenges with love, faith, and hard work. His honesty about his struggles has inspired many, showing that no one is perfect and that it's okay to ask for help. Over the years, he won multiple Grammy Awards for his contributions to gospel and contemporary Christian music. He also received Stellar Awards and Dove Awards, which are significant honors in the gospel world. His albums like The New Nation Project, Hero, and Losing My Religion also did well, often topping the gospel charts. Franklin has been a trailblazer in gospel music. He was the first gospel artist to have a platinum album with his 1997 album, God's Property from Kirk Franklin's New Nation, reaching #1, 3 on the Billboard 200 chart. He holds records for the most Grammy Awards in gospel music, as well as the most Dove and Stellar Awards, showing his consistent excellence.
This makes no sense because I don't even sing. I want to say that it really doesn't make sense, and I salute.
Kirk's music isn't just popular in churches. It has reached millions of listeners around the world. He has worked with many famous artists, such as Mary J. Blige, Bono, Yolanda Adams, Toby Mac, and Stevie Wonder. One of his successful collaborations was the song Lean on Me with Mary J. Blige and Bono, which became a hit on both gospel and secular radio. These partnerships have helped gospel music reach new audiences and gain respect in the broader music industry. Kirk has touched people's hearts for over 30 years by making songs. Many call him the king of gospel. What makes Kirk special is how he mixes gospel with other types of music, like hip-hop and R&B. This made gospel music more popular and sound fresh and different. This style has helped gospel music reach more people, even those who don't usually listen to it, especially with younger people. Through his music, Kirk has helped bridge the gap between traditional church music and modern sounds. Many artists today, both in gospel and other genres, look up to him. His legacy is about more than just music. It's about bringing people together, no matter where they come from. Kirk Franklin's influence will be felt for many years to come. Today, Kirk continues to make music, inspire others, and grow as a person and a father. His journey reminds us all that challenges can lead to growth, and with the right support, we can overcome anything.